Price. I'm the Nevada State Geologist Emeritus. I retired from the Nevada Bureau of Mines and Geology, the State Geological Survey, a number of years ago, and started doing some consulting and a whole lot of volunteer work. Right now I'm volunteering for a couple of geological organizations. I'm currently the president of the American Geosciences Institute, which is an umbrella organization over 40 some odd geoscience related organizations, including SME. I joined SME in 1977. I had just graduated with my PhD from Berkeley and went to work for US Steel Corporation in their iron and copper area. And I was stationed in Salt Lake City, and my boss said, hey, right next door is the office for SME. Why don't you join? And that's how I joined. SME's been a great place for connecting with professionals in the mining industry in particular. After working with US Steel and the copper side of things, I wound up as a sabbatical leave replacement teaching geology at a college in Pennsylvania. And I wound up going to the anthracite section meetings in northeastern Pennsylvania. But then I wound up getting transferred with US Steel down to South Texas in their uranium mining and exploration program, hooked up with the local SME section there. And from there I wound up going to the University of Texas in Austin with the State Geological Survey there. Again, connected with the local SME section there. State geological surveys are a lot of fun. It's a great job in the sense that you work on all sorts of things. When I was with Texas, I continued to do a little bit of work on in situ uranium leaching, which was active in South Texas at the time. So worked on mineral resources in far western Texas. Everything from beryllium to rare earths and fluorite and sulfur, all sorts of things. When I became the Nevada State Geologist in Nevada, I had the opportunity to work on gold and silver and lithium, and our organization dealt with all sorts of geological issues, geological hazards, environmental issues, earthquake hazards, land subsidence due to groundwater withdrawal, all sorts of great things. It just helped to connect with the local community. A lot of the projects that we did were collaborative with people in the industry. Reno turns out to be a hotspot of mining and geology people. There are about 4 meetings a month between the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, the Geological Society of Nevada, the Nevada Petroleum and Geothermal Society, and SME. All of those interactions help to keep connections with folks in industry. Well, nowadays, one of the volunteer efforts I do is with my wife, who's been heavily involved with the WAMI section for a number of years. Beth and I volunteer with the Nevada Mining Association's Education Committee. For the past 30 some years, we've been helping out with their teacher workshops that they do twice a year. One in Las Vegas during their school spring break, and one somewhere in northern Nevada. And we teach a lot of things about geology, Nevada resources, and mining activities. I'd say work in something in which you're passionate. Have fun. If you're not having fun, do something else. Grew up in Pennsylvania, went to school at Lehigh University in eastern Pennsylvania, which is largely an engineering school, but I wanted to be a geologist. Had that passion since I was 5 years old or so, collecting fossils and crystals on the farm that I grew up in. And along the way, I wound up getting a dual degree in geology in Germany. That meant that I got to go to Germany for a fellowship between my bachelor's and graduate work. And although at the time I was thinking about igneous petrology and geochemistry for a career, when I was in Germany, I studied at the University of Heidelberg, where there were a lot of experts in economic geology, mineral deposits. And that created the passion for that kind of geology. So then when I went to Berkeley, I hooked up with the professor there who was the expert in that arena, but also did a lot of geochemistry and igneous petrology along the way. And that's kind of stuck in my career. The kinds of mineral deposits that I've worked with, one way or another, wind up being linked back to igneous rocks and geochemical processes.